Hi everyone, my name is Adogs and thank you all for coming to my channel. So today we're going to go over the Touken Ranbu cards that have been revealed currently, and with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So first of all, we'll go over the Mikazuki ride line. So first of all, we have the grade 0, and then for the grade 1, it has one skill, which is auto. When the student is rode upon by a grade 2 card with Mikazuki Minachika and its card name, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose up to one grade 2 or less card from among them, call it a Regard Circle, and put the rest on the top bottom of your deck in any order. Next we have the grade 2, so continuous on Vanguard Circle. If your soul has 2 or more cards of Mikazuki Minachika and their card name, when you ride a grade 3 with Mikazuki Minachika and its card name from your ride deck, you can ride without discarding from hand. Then we have the Mikazuki Minachika Kawame, so continuous in Vanguard Circle during your turn. If you have 3 or more stand regards, this unit gets power plus 5k and critical plus 1. Then act on the Vanguard Circle once per turn. You can cost a Soul Blast 1, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose up to one card from among them, call to Regard Circle, and put the rest on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. And then auto on the Vanguard Circle, when the student attacks a grade 3 or grade A unit, you can discard 2 cards from your hand, choose 2 of your front row regards and stand them. And then the one support card I did get with Mikazuki was the Koget Sonomaru Kiwame. So continuous on the front row Regard Circle, this unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects, and all the cards in your hand get continuous on hand. When you would discard cards from hand for your Vanguard's abilities cost, it may be regarded as discarding 2 cards. And then continuous in the Regard Circle, Shinken Hisatsu. This ability is active if you have 3 or more damage. This one gets plus 1000 power, which is also active during the opponent's turn. And then we did also get Tanto, so it's a set order, so after a set order is played, you can put it in the order zone. Continuous in the order zone, the activity of Tanto can only be used a total of once each turn. And then act on the order zone once per turn. You can put a card from drop on the bottom of your deck other than heal or over trigger, real cards on the top of your deck until the number of normal units revealed is the same as the number of Tanto in your order zone. Choose a card from among the revealed normal units, call it to Regard Circle as rest. If the called unit is less than or equal to your Vanguard's grade, you can stand that unit and it gets plus 5000 power until the end for each other normal unit revealed by this effect and top of your deck. Alright, so let's go back over to the ride line. So we'll start with the grade 1. So the grade 1 allowed us to essentially look at the top 2 cards, call one, and leave the one on the top or bottom. So that's actually a very, very powerful skill. Instead, it doesn't cost anything, just as long as you ride a grade 2 over this grade 1, that's Mikazuki. So essentially, it allows us to actually have a bit of an early game, or if we're going first, it essentially allows us to start setting up a board. So it's really, really good. And then the card we have on top, we can either use as aggression tool, especially if it's a trigger, or that can be used as a defensive tool to be used as a defensive trigger if you leave it on top. So that's actually a really, really strong skill for the grade 1. Now looking back over the grade 2 is actually quite powerful as well, since you will always have 2 Mikazukis in your soul, since both the 0 and 1 both have Mikazuki Minachika. So you will always ride for free without discarding. So that's also very powerful. Now looking at the grade 3, oh boy, the grade 3 is very, very strong. So it's giving me those GR Mikazuki vibes. So essentially what the GR run did all the way back when the GR is essentially it allowed you to discard 2 cards. I'm pretty sure it was stand your board or 2 regards, but then you Vanguard again the crit. So this is essentially what this Vanguard is doing, fully from GR, but it's now in standard. And then, but personally, it feels a lot stronger. So the fact that if you have 2 or more stand regards against plus 5k and a crit, that's really strong, because your Vanguard's then always going to be pressuring. You're always going to have to worry about the 5k and that crit, and to achieve it, it is so easy. It's so goddamn easy, so that's really strong. Then the second skill was really strong as well, essentially being able to call a card for free and either leave the card on the top or bottom. So it gives you knowledge in case you have a trigger there. If you don't, that's fine, you've actually started filtering your deck so you're getting close to the triggers. So again, that's already strong as well. And then just to boot that on top, essentially when your opponent's in grade 3, you can discard 2 cards from your hand to stand 2 of your regards. So you get 5 attacks. That's such a strong Vanguard skill. This Vanguard is absolutely just really strong. It, has the crit power, it has a ways of, you know, creating board for you, allowing you to know what your top cards are going to be, live at the top or bottom, and then again just all on top, allowing you to get 5 attacks every turn when your opponent's in grade 3. That's such a great card. And then looking back on that grade 2 as well, instead when he's in the front row, you mitigate your Vanguard's cost by discarding just 1 card in your hand, because everything in your hand becomes 2 cards. So that's absolutely strong. And then just to boot, it also gained 10k power, so that's just a solid standalone attacker on its own. But essentially, like, you can potentially have like 5 solid attacks every turn. And again, when you get to Persona Ride turns, this is going to be absolutely devastating. This support so far that we've got for Touken Ranbu, well, especially this ride line on the support card, is absolutely strong. And then going back into that set order as well, you know, if you do manage to draw one, this is just really powerful too, because this helps you essentially create even more free cards on board. Because as I said, as long as the revealed cards are normal unit, which you can actually kind of manipulate that with the Mikazuki Minachika, you can actually call, you know, an additional card for free, because you'll have the 1 card called from Mikazuki Minachika, the top 2 cards with normal units, and then the order can let you call 1 too. So you've not had to use anything in your hand to create a front row. That's just really solid. Like, all the support all around, like, is really good. So overall, I feel like this is a really good push in the right direction, what Touken Ranbu needed. I feel like this support is probably gonna really help Touken Ranbu catch up, because it needs to do a lot of catch up, and this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Now, with the rest of the support that I got, so the first set order is called Touken Ranbu. So you can have a total of 5 cards in your ride deck, made up of this card and unit cards without Kiwami and their card names, and 1 grade 0 to 2 unit cards each, and this card is kept face up. Then order in the ride deck, when you stand up, put this card into your order zone, choose up to 1 unit card without Kiwami and its card name from your ride deck, put it into your order zone face up, and it becomes training. Then it continues on the order zone, your Vanguard loses all their order abilities and act abilities. Continuous in the order zone, you cannot normal ride from hand, and when you would ride from your ride deck, you can ride without discarding a card from hand. And then act in the order zone, if your ride deck has no cards and you did not ride this turn, cost, put a card in training into soul, search your deck or hand for up to 1 card with both the card name or the card put into the soul, inquiring this card name, ride at a stand, and if you search your deck, shuffle the deck. If you wrote a card, put this card into soul, and you get a crest depending on your Vanguard's race. So essentially, once you get the crest essentially becomes a Vanguard skill, so it completely changes. Now, there are a couple of crests that got revealed. So the first crest is continuous. You cannot ride a unit with a different card name from your Vanguard. Continuous, all cards of the same card name as your Vanguard become grade 3, 13,000 power, critical +1, and have twin drive, Persona Ride, and gets all of the following. It loses all of its original power, shield, and abilities. So, auto Vanguard Circle initial attacks cost counter +1 until the end of the battle. Your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards from the hand of Guardian Circle. And then continuous Vanguard during the opponent's main phase, if all your regards cannot be chosen by opponent's card effects. That's the first crest. That's actually quite solid. Next we have Wikizushi's ability Kiwami. So it's a crest again, continuous, you cannot ride a unit with a different card name from your Vanguard. Continuous, all of cards with the same card name as your Vanguard gain 13,000 power, crit +1, all over again. Now, it has 2 skills, so Order Vanguard Circle, at the beginning of your battle phase, all your regards +5k, and then Auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. When this unit is attacked, you can counter +1, reveal the top card of your deck, put it into your hand, and increase this unit's power by the original shield of the revealed cards. That's actually quite a strong ability. Next we have Ichigata's ability, Kiwami. So it has 2 skills again, so Auto Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks, costs counter +1, choose one of your regards, stand it, and this unit gets +10,000 power until the end of the battle. And then Vanguard Circle once per turn, when your reguard is attacked, you can cost soul +1, until the end of that battle. If any of your reguards is hit, it does not retire. So that's quite a powerful crest as well. Now we did have a couple of Kiwames as well. So we had Monoyoshi Satomune. So Shiken Satsu, this unit gets intercept and get intercept from the back row and gets shield +5. That's quite strong. So you have a booster that can become a 10k shield that can intercept from the back row. So that's really nice. Auto Reguard Circle, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, cost counter +1, put this unit into your soul, draw a card, choose one of your opponent's Reguards and retire. Not too bad of a skill. Again, you do have the counter +1, but you do get to draw a card and retire opponent's Reguard, so it's not too shabby. The next Reguard we have was Continuous Reguard Circle, this unit gets power +10,000, and then Continuous Reguard Circle, if there are not a total of 3 or more attacks this turn, this unit cannot attack. But I feel like this could definitely be solid in the Mikazuki deck, since you're trying to make big columns, and this definitely helps it as well, since it would be a 20k attacker just like the Kogutsu no Maru, so you'd actually have some solid front row attackers. And then next one we have was Auto Reguard Circle, when this unit attack hits a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, cost counter +1, and rest one other Reguard and stand this unit. And then Auto Reguard Circle, when this unit stands during your battle phase, this unit gets +5,000 power to the end of the turn. If you have an Itachi's ability Crest, it gets +10,000 power instead of 5. So that's definitely strong as well. If it does hit, you can rest Reguard stand it, so that's definitely nice. And then when something stands during your battle phase, it gets +10 if you have the Kiwame Crest. So that's really, really solid. So it essentially swings for 30 if it hits, it stands, it comes 23 if you have the Crest, or if you're on Persona Ride, again, if it hits, it stands, it'll become 33. So that's just a really strong number. Then we have the Itachi ability Kiwame. So it has 2 abilities again as well. So Auto Vanguard Circle, when the unit attacks, this unit gets +5,000 power until the end of battle, then cost counter +1, choose one of your grade 3 Reguards and stand it. And then an Auto Vanguard Circle, when the unit attack hits a Vanguard, discard the top card of your deck, and if you discard the trigger unit, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and deal 1 damage. So this crest is definitely very, very strong. If somehow your attacks manage to hit and you discard a trigger, you're doing that extra damage, and it isn't locked to your opponent being 4 damage or less. So this could get very spicy. Now next we did have a couple other support cards as well. This is for Kashiro Kiyomitsu. So it's a Kashiro Kiyomitsu Kiwame. So this unit is also regarded as Kashiro Kiyomitsu Kiwame. And then Auto Vanguard Circle, once per turn, if you Persona Road this turn, this cost may be paid with counter +1. And its skill is, at the end of the battle this unit attacked, you can discard a card from your hand and put a card from Reguard Circle or hand with the same card name as this unit into soul, stand this unit, and increase or decrease this unit's critical and drive to -1 to the end of the turn. If your soul has 2 grade 3 cards with Kashiro Kiyomitsu in the card names, this unit gets Auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. At the end of battle this unit attacked, cost counter +1 to stand this unit, and it gets drive -1 until the end of the turn. So if I'm reading this correctly, your Vanguard can get 3 Vanguard attacks. So that's very, very strong. So again, obviously you have to have 2 Kashiro Kiyomitsus in soul, but when you do reach that, having 3 Vanguard attacks with Kashiro Kiyomitsu is really strong. I feel like this is like a finisher for the deck, which is good, because with the original Kashiro Kiyomitsu, it's really good at manipulating your deck and stuff like that, getting strong numbers, but I sometimes felt like the deck was missing kind of like a finisher to really push, and I think this is perfect. So this is really, really good. Next, we do have another couple of support cards. I can't say their names unfortunately, but anyway, Continuous Reguard Circle during your turn. If you have a grade 1 or less Reguard in the same column as this unit gets +5,000 power. And then Final Reguard Circle, when you grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Kashiro Kiyomitsu or Mitsu no Kami Yoshiyuki and its card name attacks, you can cast to put this unit on the bottom of your deck, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, gets +5,000 power to the end of battle. This one's definitely very solid, being able to power up your Kashuki Mitsu so that he's hitting magic numbers, which is really strong. Also being able to put on the bottom of the deck and draw one is really nice as well, so you're kind of keeping a hand, which is really neat. Then next we do have the last card, which is when it's placed in a Regal Circle, if your Vanguard is great for your greater, cost counter +1, search the deck through one unit card with Izumi no Kami Kanasada and its card name, call to Regal Circle, shuffle your deck. And continuous Regal trigger in the Satsu, when your other Regal is placed other than from hand in the same column as this unit, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Kashuki Mitsu or Mitsu no Kanami Yoshiyuki in its card name, this is gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So, I really like how the group can now search for the grade 2 now. When they're both together, it makes a 28k column. That's really strong. Again, as long as you're on grade 3, you can make that powerful column. So again, you're making magic numbers, which is really good, especially if you combo that with the new Kashuki and Mitsu. So you can essentially get, 3 definitely solid Vanguard attacks, and then you can also have some strong Regal columns to boot on top. Now going back to the crest stuff, I think honestly the crests is amazing, essentially having 4 different crests, because it opens up so many possibilities. You can build your deck in so many different ways, and it's absolutely great. This is something that I wish they did with the first set, but it's really sad doing it now, because that means like there's so many ways you can build your deck. It's just overall, it's just amazing. I think they really hit the nail on the head so far with the set. I think all the support they got so far is actually really strong. It feels like, it's giving that stronger boost from the first set, and I feel like this set could definitely catch up with the meta. Potentially, even with the Mikazuki Minachika, depending what other cards are revealed, Mikazuki could potentially be a meta threat, but we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, that's it for me. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and while you're down there, why not subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when I upload another video, you will be notified. A-Dogs out. See ya.